Hello everyone, it's Tamara Bennett with Southern Adornments Decor. I'm just been doing some painting in here and I thought I would hop on and join you guys and see what everybody's up to this Valentine's afternoon. So happy Valentine's Day. My hubby and I went ahead and celebrated last night and I got him some chocolate dipped strawberries and he got a new coffee maker, which he was so excited about. So we had a great time last night. I'm going to be using a stencil that has a quatrefoil pattern. I think that's how you say it. Quatrefoil. I don't know. I guess it depends if you're from the South or not. I don't know how they pronounce it. Happy Valentine's Day, Bridget. Y'all say hi as you come in. Hey, Kristen. But this stencil, you can find it on my website if you're interested. You can either buy the cut file. If you didn't know, you can actually cut these stencils using your Silhouette or Cricut machine if you have a cutting machine. Or you can just buy the stencil from me on my website. But I'm going to be using this on this shape. This shape is also available on my website. It's called the Fancy Frame. It's 20 inches long. Hey, Jennifer. Hi, Shelby. You can either buy the actual wooden cutout, and I'll mail it to you on the website, or you can just buy the, what do you call it? Template. And the templates you can actually print at home and trace onto the wood and cut yourself. So if you're interested, this shape can be kind of hard to draw because you want it to be symmetrical, and symmetrical things sometimes are the hardest to draw. So if you need the template for this, it's on my website. Hi, Leslie. Happy Valentine's Day to you. It doesn't feel like Valentine's Day, I guess because I celebrated last night. So this is going to be a fun door hanger because it's going to be like a gift for somebody who got married. And then it's going to have some really bright colors like lime green and pink. So I'm excited. I'm kind of ready for spring colors. All right, if y'all don't mind, I'm going to angle the camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing and you won't be looking at my face the whole time. But feel free to continue to comment because I'm going to try to watch for your comments. Okay. And if you are new to following me, please let me know. I would love to say hi to my new folks. And if you wonder why I'm putting my paint in an egg carton, it's because that is like my favorite way to put, I prefer that instead of using, I can't find what I need, instead of using a plate, because for one, it keeps your paints all in the same spot and they won't run into each other like they would on a plate. And then for number two, I feel like the egg carton, because it's made of foam, doesn't soak up the paint as quickly. And it doesn't dry out so fast. Okay, you'll notice I'm using these little sponge polka dot thingies. I found these on Amazon, but I can't give you guys a link because they only had like 3 left available. They're Martha Stewart. I'm going to try to find a link so you guys can try them, but they come in several sizes and the sponge can come in and out. Hello, Victoria. Yes, egg carton palette, Bridget. But I'm using my sponge polka dotter to pick up some paint, and I'm just kind of dipping it. And you don't want it to kind of gobbed on there like that. So I usually just kind of scrape a little of the excess off. And then I kind of hold, you can tape your stencil down. I usually don't. I usually just kind of hold it down with my hand and daub straight down like this. And I haven't painted the frame of the door hanger yet, like the outer part. It's going to be the hot pink. But I wanted to go ahead and do this lime green first so it can be drying and then we can put some words on it. You got some sponges today at Michael's. Awesome. Hey, Lisa. Oh, no, another school shooting. I haven't been watching the news all day today, so I'm sure it will be on Fox News this evening when my husband gets home. That's terrible. I don't know what America is coming to, but we need help. We need prayers. Y'all say hi as you come in. Some of you guys may have gotten my notification. If you want to get notifications when I go live, just send me a private message saying I want to get notified, and it automatically enrolls you for notifications. If you got a notification and you don't want notifications anymore, then I think you can just type the word stop, and then it'll give you the option to click a button that says unsubscribe. So it's no big deal. You can just hop right out of it if you get tired of it. Because some weeks I may go live 2 or 3 times a week, and then sometimes it may be less, so you may get tired of the notifications. That's okay, Lisa. You're just letting everybody know. That way we can all pray for those people who are affected. I was really happy to be able to write the check to the victims of the Marshall County shooting here. After we did our fundraiser, I wrote the check on Sunday and my husband delivered it. I felt a little awkward delivering it myself, so he's the one who delivered it, and they were really appreciative of it, so it made me feel really good. And I was actually doing my taxes this afternoon. I hate doing taxes. Actually, this morning, my mom was helping me, and we were totaling up the amount of money that that I had written checks out to like people who had done fundraiser paint parties, and we actually raised a little over $4,400 this past year for people using fundraiser paint parties. So I thought that was just awesome. Thank you, Lisa. Where did you get those daubers? Roxana, I think they have them at Michael's or Joann's. These actually came up from Amazon, but I can't share the link with you guys because I'm afraid if I do that, they will suddenly like all sell out, because when it, you know how like when you're buying something, it says there's only 3 left. Well, that's what it said. There was only like 2 or 3 of these left. I'm like, well, if I share this link, then everybody's going to get mad because they're going to say, oh, they're all sold out. So, but they're Martha Stewart brand. And I really like that. I think they're going to be a little bit more durable than my little wooden sponge pouncers, because these have like a plastic cover. And so when you're done, you just pull this little sponge out and you wash it off. And you can squeeze, you know, the life out of it and get all that paint and water out of it, and it doesn't damage the sponge dauber. Whereas like those little wooden ones, eventually those do wear out because the sponge will start to deteriorate and fall off of the wooden stump, if that makes sense. We are almost done with this. Do any of you guys have troubles using stencils like this? If you do, it could be because maybe you are applying the paint wrong, or maybe you are putting on too much paint. If you do put on too much paint, it runs the risk of getting up underneath the stencil. Mine are never like completely perfect. Like when I peel it up, a lot of times there's like little imperfections and things that I'll have to sometimes go back and correct. But by sponging directly down on it like this, it kind of prevents some of that. Okay, you guys ready to peel it up? Oh, how pretty. Okay, let me get you close so that you can see. It's not absolutely perfect. There are some little spots, but I mean, it's pretty close to perfect. Okay, hang on. My tripod is not cooperating. Okay, I just knocked a bottle of paint off. If you see this spot here and way over here, we need to fill those in because they kind of look like little holes. So normally you might want to wash off your stencil before you move it because you run the risk of cross-contamination, but I ain't got time for that. So you'll probably see me just place it right back down and go for it, which I may have to do some touching up, but I'm going to try to lightly, I'm going to hold this spot up because I don't want it to touch the paint over there that's still wet, but I'm going to touch that spot there, and then let me just flip it around so I'm still in view. This color, Roxana, is called Kiwi. It's apple barrel paint. It's like a really bright lime green. I love it. Of course, if you guys have followed me for very long at all, you know green's my favorite color. Okay, so we've got that filled in. I'm going to set my stencil to the side because I got to go wash it off later. I'll wash that sponge. Okay, so this is what, I just knocked that bottle off again. Here's what we've got so far. Now I'm going to take the bright magenta and just do the edge here. Let me start a new little carton. And I'm going to use one of these brushes. It's a flat-tipped brush, but it's pretty big. Like, see, compared to my finger, how wide that is. By using a wider brush like this, if you have trouble with brush strokes showing up, then maybe you should try using a larger brush. I've had people ask me that before. They'll say, how do you get your paint so smooth? Part of it is using a larger brush. You know, it's just got more area to spread out with the wider bristles. And I love these flat-tipped brushes because it allows you to like get really close to the edge there and keep a nice smooth line. Sorry, I probably missed like a million comments. I got to talking. Yeah, they're probably all gone by now. Teresa, did you order? No, our Walmart actually carries that big bottle of pink, the bright magenta. They have it at our Walmart. I like the bigger bottles, even though the smaller bottles at our Walmart are actually a better buy. You can get 4 of them for $2, and that is like 8 ounces worth of paint. But the big bottles are $2.50 for 8 ounces of paint. So it's actually a better buy to buy 4 small bottles. I just prefer the large bottles for paint parties and stuff. It's just less to carry around and less to juggle, and it's easier to tell when I'm running out of paint. Whereas all those little bottles, if one of them starts to go empty, I might have 2 or 3 more that are half empty and not know it, whereas it's easier to keep track of one bottle. This one's going to be fairly quick to paint. I am in love with this color combination. It makes me think of spring. So bright and happy. Just basic colors. Well, that's a bummer. Yeah, it's kind of Moroccan looking. It's I call it quatrefoil, and I think you can even Google it, and that's usually what they call it. Or quarterfoil. Y'all, I don't know which way is the right way to say it, but that's just the way I say it. Whether it's right or wrong, you know what I'm talking about. If you're just now tuning in, you can get this stencil on my website. You can either buy the stencil for $25 or you can buy the stencil cut file for only like $5 if you have a Cricut or a Silhouette. I have a link to this stencil material on my resource list as well. Or I think you can buy stencil material at like Hobby Lobby and stuff. Places like that. But you can actually cut this stencil material on your Cricut or your... I'm going to go around this a second time. You can cut using the deep cut blade on... I don't know about Silhouette if they have deep cut blades, but Cricut does. And I usually go around it twice, so I'll set it to the multi-cut function and just cut it twice on the same design so that it goes all the way through. So if you're interested, I have several stencil patterns that you can buy for just $5 on my website. And you can load them directly onto your cutting machine and make your own stencils. I even have some word stencils on there too, like welcome and stuff like that. Oh, that's a good idea, putting them in ketchup bottles. I've never tried that. I probably need to do that at some point or something so that it's... Because I do feel like I waste a lot of time going through my paints and seeing how much is left of each one. And I will, you know, squeeze the empty ones into some of the other ones and try to condense them down a little bit. So maybe if I was using ketchup bottles like that, it would be easier. And I could just write the name of the paint on the side or something. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that someday. Okay, I've got that all covered in the pink. Isn't this pretty? Okay, the center is not quite dry, but it's close. Let me swap brushes here. Let's see, we'll use that one. This is a filbert tip brush. I know, I love the pink and green. Oh, thank you, Athena. This is a filbert tipped brush. See how it's kind of got the rounded tip? It's kind of a mix between a round tip and a flat tip because it's kind of both. Like, I don't know if you can see that really well. But it's sort of rounded, but sort of not. It's also pretty, I'm trying to get in the camera and I'm doing a terrible job at this. It's also kind of thick, so that it has lots of bristles. So that allows it to hold plenty of paint, which makes it the perfect type of brush for lettering. If you don't have any brushes like this, I have some linked on my resource list on my website, southernadornamentsdecor.com. And you can go directly on there and get them. But see how much paint that picked up? That's going to hold quite a lot. Ha! You're right, my nails do match the paint. This is the first time I've ever had a gel manicure, and I'm obsessed. It is awesome. What I really love about it is, like, if I get acrylic paint on my nails when I'm painting, it just washes right off when I wash my hands. Whereas before, if I used just my regular paint that I had here and painted my nails, if I got acrylic paint on my fingernails, it wouldn't wash off. It would like stick to the paint. And then if I tried to scrub very much, then my nail polish came off. So I decided to splurge for Valentine's Day and treat myself to a gel manicure. And this is after 1 week and it still looks awesome. This color is called Lollipop. I thought it was fun. You're right, it does match the paint. Okay, so I'm just using this filbert tip brush to kind of do an outline. And this just kind of anchors the whole thing. It just makes it look polished and finished, and it hides any little imperfections, you know, if you didn't stay on the line very well when painting or whatever. This black line can hide a lot of that. Okay, so I've got that all on there. I'm not going to rinse that brush out because I'm going to do the lettering next. Let me see. I got a couple of questions here. Oh, try these bottles. Oh, thank you, Michelle. I'll have to look those up. Let me see if I missed a question. I don't think so. One of the things I did want to tell you guys about is Thursday, and you guys give me your opinion on this. Thursday, I'm going to go and get my eyeliner tattooed on. And the funny thing about that is my mom is actually the one who had the idea. She's wanting to get hers done. And so I thought, you know, I've kind of thought about that, but I've been too chicken to go do it. So since my mom's going, I'm going to go too and get mine done. And I wondered if that might be something you guys would like to see. I don't know if the tattoo person, the tattoo artist, would let us do that in a live video, but I think it would be so cool. So y'all let me know if she lets me. I might go live while we're in there, and I might not be able to talk at all, but I might be able to have my mom like film the thing. That way you guys can see what it's like. You say ouch, Leslie, but I've talked to several people who had this done, and they put some kind of numbing cream on there, and it's actually not bad at all. You want to do your eyelashes, Michelle? Do you mean like the extensions? I've never had those, but I just kind of want to get the eyeliner done. We'll see. You're too chicken to do that. Well, I don't want it to be like obvious. Like when I don't have any makeup on, I don't want it to look like, whoa, she's had her eyeliner done. You know, I want it to be just subtle to where it makes my lashes look a little thicker maybe. But I mainly just want it to be easier for when I do my makeup to not have to mess with eyeliner. I feel like the older I get, the harder it is to put on eyeliner. You want it on her bathroom door like a little girl's restroom sign. I missed that, Leslie. I'll go back and comment to you in a minute or later when I get off. Are you going to Benton to get it done? No, Monica, I'm going to Paducah. Yes, I'm crazy. I know it, Teresa. Because they're blonde. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to finish this sign up. I was kind of waiting for it to dry and chit-chatting while I did that. Roxana, you want to get yours done, but you're afraid of the pain. Well, if the lady doesn't mind and lets me go live in the video, you guys will be able to see whether I'm screaming in pain or not. Okay, I'm using the same filbert tipped brush. And you know what? This one, I think it's a size 4. It's got plenty of paint on it. See, it holds like a nice big blob of paint. And I still usually have to fill in, but I can usually get, you know, 3 or 4 letters before I have to fill in, and which that green is still a little bit wet, so it streaked it, but I can go back and touch that up. But I like to usually almost write the whole word out before I go back and fill them in, because it just gives more flow when I'm able to just write it. And I know you guys are probably going to say, or start asking questions about how to become better at hand lettering. And the only answer I can give you is practice. I did not get this good at it overnight. Definitely not. And only in the past 6 months have I gotten even better at it. Just because of all the custom orders I've been getting and at paint parties. So don't give up on it. Keep trying. And see where you get with it. I'm going to go back and touch this up in a minute. It just helps me to go ahead and write it all out. You have a friend who had it done. She saves her time in the morning, but she said it didn't hurt that bad, just sore a couple of days after. Yeah, that's kind of, she felt like she had a sty on her eye. That's kind of what I've been told, so I'm not too scared about it. I'm just, I guess the only thing that does make me nervous is it's like, what if I don't like it? Or what if it doesn't turn out exactly like I want? But the lady that does this, I think it's pretty much her primary job. It's her primary income. Like, I don't even know if she does regular tattoos anymore. This has become her thing, and she does it like 3 days a week by appointment only. So she's got so many people, she stays booked up. So I reckon she's got to be pretty good. Listen to me sounding like Kentucky. I reckon she's got to be pretty good at it. Otherwise, she wouldn't stay so busy. You know, people are singing her praises, so to speak. Okay, I love this writing. You do your letters first with pencil. Yes, I used to do that too. Now I've kind of become used to it enough that I don't feel like I have to do that anymore. But if you are a little uncomfortable with hand lettering, writing it out with pencil first can definitely help. Or even with a chalk pencil. Of course, on this white and green, you wouldn't be able to see chalk, but okay. Another little tidbit that might be helpful for you guys. Let me find a different brush. Sometimes if I want to add just a little bit of pizzazz, yeah, I know, I reckon, right? I sound like a redneck. I will take just a tiny bit of white and mix with my gray. You know, sometimes I do the white highlights on the letters, but if you're scared to do white highlights, but you still want just a little bit of something else, a little bit of something extra, you can like mix whatever color you did the letters with. So I did the colors in black. I'm mixing them with a tiny bit of white. See, it made it like a light gray or a dark gray. And then I'm just going to do a highlight in that dark gray. Hang on, I need a little bit more. It's almost still too dark. And if it's not showing up on camera, I'll show you guys close up in a moment. But then I'm taking this really dark gray and just doing a few highlights with the dark gray, and it will add like a whole nother dimension of like almost like a three-dimensional effect or a wet effect. Like it'll look like the letters are a little wet because they kind of look like they're reflecting the light. But I know it can be scary to do like those white highlights on the letters, especially when you're first starting out, because it used to terrify me. So this is a good way to get practice with that, but it's not as strong of a look or as strong of an effect. It's more subtle. So if you don't do it perfect, it's not nearly as noticeable. Does that make sense? And also one of the reasons why I chose to do this type of a highlight on this door hanger instead of white is because I have so much white going on in the background that white on top of the letters would almost be too much. Okay. Let me get you guys closer so you can see what I'm saying. See those gray highlights? How pretty that is? Okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully it was helpful. If you don't mind, please share the video because my goal every day is to inspire you guys to improve your painting skills and to step outside the box a little bit and stretch your creative talents. I'm actually trying to come up with a, what do you call it? A tag phrase? That's not right. What do you say? It's kind of like your motto or something, like a phrase that kind of describes what you do. Oh, I forgot something. Looking at this in the camera, I just realized I forgot the finishing highlights. Hang on. Let me get my big fat round brush. See, this one's a lot fatter. And I'm going to get some white paint. And this just adds a little something else to the frame. I completely forgot this until I was looking in the mirror, in the camera and saw that it was missing something. There we go. And those don't have to be perfect either. Oh, low battery notification on my phone. A catchphrase. There you go, Carla. Thank you. There we go. Much better with the white highlights. It just busies it up a little bit. So a tagline. Yes, that's another way of saying it, Amy. I need to come up with a tagline. So maybe you guys can give me some ideas. But something like inspiring you to stretch your creative abilities, but not really creative abilities. It's got to be more like, yeah, like a mission statement. It's got to be something more like painting. I don't know. I've been trying to brainstorm ways to do it because, you know, when somebody asks you, well, what do you do for a living? I always say, oh, I do paint parties. Well, that used to be all I did, but now it's become so much more than that because I get on here every day with you guys and I teach you guys. And so, you paint your world. Yeah, I want it to be something that really specifically kind of describes what I do, which would be kind of like teaching you to develop your painting skills or something. I don't know. I want it to be kind of cute, but I kind of also want it to be specific. So I'm working on that. So y'all, please, yes, continue to send me your ideas and I may come up with something eventually. But I plan to say it like every time I come on Facebook Live. That way I get used to saying it. And then like if I meet somebody in the elevator at, say, the hospital, and they say, oh, who's that for? Because I'm all time delivering door hangers. I can say, oh, it's for so-and-so. And they'll say, well, what do you do for a living? And I can kind of just say that little tagline. And that way I don't have to try to like fumble around and explain what I do for a living. A painting coach. That's a good idea. Coaching. I don't know. I'm going to have to write it down. Like, I do terrible when I try to, like, say it out loud. It sounds stupid. Helping you create with paint. I like that, Amy. That's cute. Okay, so this is all we're doing today. If you want the cutout or the template, hop over to my website, or the stencil file, or the stencil itself, or the brushes I used. All of that is linked over at southernadornmentsdecor.com. So hop over there. I hope you guys have a wonderful Valentine's Day and celebrate with your hubbies and or your boyfriends or whoever, and y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later. Thank you, Brittany. Bye-bye.